Bring it around. Bring it around. Who's this right there? Oh my gosh. Hey. That guy right there.
Oh, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to say, welcome to the podcast for Empathy and Imagination. My name is Aubrey,
And I am Drew Clark.
and this is episode 41.
Oh, shoot.
Here in Crockett, California, coming at you straight from Gradient Studios. Yeah, coming at you from Gradient Studios. We're bringing it to you live. Okay.
All right. I would like to acknowledge all of you for taking time out of your day to listen to the podcast for Empathy and Imagination.
Yes,
If
indeed.
you'd like to support this podcast, you can reach us at Patreon, Empathy and Imagination, or you can go directly to YouTube. You can repost, comment, and like.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to do a quick check-in.
Let's check it in. Check it in,
Check
bro.
in with you.
Okay.
Any news on that job?
Okay. So, no.
Anything to say?
I have things to say, but
Any opening salvos?
so that last week we had that cool interview I liked, and
Yeah.
I haven't heard from them. It's been more than 1 week, so I'm starting to feel like maybe not so much.
You never know.
You never know. Sometimes they take a month to get back to people. That does happen.
Yeah.
But I find that usually they're within a couple of days, if they're pretty excited about it, they'll like make that work. You know what I'm saying?
Did they say anything last time? Like,
Here, turn up the
On the
juice
way
here
up?
a little bit. Here, turn that juice up. I'm not getting much on the switcher. Hello, testing. Getting a little louder. That seems like maximum juice town. Is this louder? Can we get there? That's better. Okay, let's try
good
that.
coming through?
Yes, now it's coming through. Good.
All right.
I think that's good now.
Thanks for bearing with us.
Yeah. Technical
I
issues.
guess
So
remember the settings for next time. We'll just leave
we'll
it.
try to.
We'll just leave it there.
You know.
Right? This, we don't need that. Check.
So I feel a little bit like, maybe not.
At the end of the interview did they say, "Oh, we'll be in touch"? Did they give you any hard dates, or did they just
No.
say, "We'll be in touch"?
There was no hard dates.
Okay.
There's no hard dates. So I'm like, it still could work out, but I'm not totally sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other exciting job opportunity?
No other exciting
Opportunities?
job opportunities. The check-in includes, today we had a meeting with our officiant for the wedding. So we're like
What does that
zeroing
mean?
in.
Is
It
that-
means like the person that's going to be officiating the wedding, like, the priest, but it's not
Oh,
a
okay.
priest. You know.
It's like a notary.
Right, but for weddings. So, so this person, Carolyn Hunt, she's going to be officiating our wedding, basically, guiding us through our vows and
C.
getting.
Hunt?
Huh?
C. Hunt.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's her name.
Okay.
And she's a cool lady, and Rebecca's been studying with her on like Dianic Wiccanism and stuff. So this
okay.
ceremony is going to be kind of Drewy, kind of Rebecca-y, and that's cool.
That's
so the
cool.
check-in, my check-in starts to include basically that there's that's moving forward, and that feels good. The job thing is still like, we're getting there,
Yeah. Do you have a system? Do you apply every day, or do you just sort of
After
binge apply?
I
on
binge
one?
apply.
Yeah.
After I got all those responses and multiple interviews in a row, I took a break from applying.
Yeah.
Because that feels
Takes a
natural.
lot out of it.
It's a huge amount of work. But if I don't hear anything from them soon, I'm going to binge again maybe tomorrow.
right.
Just binge apply.
Sunday binge applies.
Mhm. It takes so long to apply, because some jobs, it's not just like upload your resume. Some jobs are like just link to your LinkedIn account and that's it. I'm like,
Right.
oh, cool.
And
I'll
some
just do
jobs
that.
have their own process and
You
procedure.
have to go in
and all
and
this
fill
stuff.
every single line out again.
And it's like you want to apply to as many as possible, but you also want to put your best foot forward. So you want to spend time on each one.
Right.
So it's this, you're riding this line between spending too much time and spending just enough time and being honest and,
So like the cover letter, how long should a cover letter be?
it should be like a paragraph.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
It should be like a paragraph to 2 to 3 if it's like a writing job.
It should be like, check out this is how cool I am. like you want to wet their whistle.
But not drown the whistle.
Right. You don't want to say, okay, this is the beginning and end of everything that's cool about me. You want to say, I have these cool ideas, and I look forward to, chatting about how I can help you. That's
Exactly.
what you say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm all for cover letters being like 1 or 2 paragraphs.
Okay. Well, then I'm with you on that because
Hi,
that's what I've been doing.
Hi, this is my name. This is where I am. First paragraph.
Thank you for
second
reading
paragraph,
this.
Yeah. Second paragraph is like, here's what I have to offer briefly. Let's talk.
Yeah. When can we
That's
meet?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because you
man.
got to. It costs so much to hire someone. That
it does. It
that
costs
they
tons.
they want the transaction to happen.
They
right?
do. They do want it to happen.
Just like prostitutes, they want the transaction to happen. So, and it costs a lot of money to hire, and it costs a lot of money to fire, right? Because if you fire, you got to rehire. So,
training is expensive.
and you want to stand out, but you don't want to be sending like frilly, glittery paper. Although that sometimes works. Depends on what you're applying for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like you know the company Outdoor Adventures, where there's
Yeah.
leaders who take people on biking and hiking trips.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I applied for. I applied. Well, they
Sounds
had
like my life.
I know exactly. They had a position open for.
Although indoor adventures.
Well, hey, that's cool too. They have that too.
Cubicle adventures.
Cubicle Adventures. They have this where like I applied to
Cubicle
be a phone
Adventures.
support person. I'm a surson now.
Cis Surson.
Cis person.
Yeah.
So I would basically be customer service for the phone for before and after these adventures, and I'd maybe work my way up to being the actual adventure person.
Sounds like it would be kind of. I don't know if you
Yeah.
enjoy that.
I don't know if I
But
would
if you
either.
could work your way up.
But
you
if
know,
I could get
it's
to
a
be
thing.
the adventure person, dude, I would. That's already what I do.
Yeah.
So
You
it
could
would be
just
great.
Forward them some links to some
I
Bicorder
did.
Warriors videos. And be
I
like,
did.
look, I already
Look.
do this.
I already
Look.
do this. Check it out.
Yeah.
So the check-in is still waiting on them. I'd like to also add in my check-in. I recently had a very lovely camping trip.
Oh yeah. Let's talk
I
about
went
that.
camping.
Oh, what's the stress level? On the stress meter,
On my stress meter.
we need like a stress meter.
Ooh, that
like
would be cool.
A
We
stress
could- can we
thermometer.
Pull up.
Like a stress thermometer?
Stress thermometer.
Are you winter time? Or are you like Louisiana in the summer time? Stress gone down?
My stress has been up and down. Like, there's this thing. Actually, I was going to bring this up later, but I'll bring it up now.
It's all good.
I've noticed that sometimes I get like, I can't really tell if it's that I'm feeling anxious, or if that I'm like worried, or if there's a difference even. But I've definitely noticed that sometimes I find myself focusing on my breath so much that I'm like worried I can't breathe.
Huh.
And so even on this podcast, I've noticed some of my breathing has been like slow and belabored.
Is it a mental thing or a physical thing?
See, I can't figure out. But I went on this trip, and I took a trip on the trip.
Okay.
Let me let me do a.
Whoops.
Yeah, let me just go do one of these. And I had some messages download to me.
Okay.
And one of the things was that I wasn't letting in nourishment. Of course, I eat food. Of course, I exercise and stuff. But I'm like worried about the job and where am I gonna move to and why is it so expensive and.
Yeah. I have an easy solution for all that stuff.
Okay, well,
But
give
it
me two in a
entails-
minute.
Yeah, it entails roommates and stuff.
Okay. So I've noticed this like sort of breathing challenge, but I haven't been inhibited. Like I can do anything still. It's not like I can't run up a hill or.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be more like something mentally I'm thinking about. Is like getting in the way or something like that. So there's been this kind of thing that seems
Something
worrying a
in the
little bit.
way.
She moves. So yeah, I've been
Nirvana is something in the way, not the Beatles.
thinking,
right?
Something in
So
the
like
way.
something in the way.
She moves.
Yeah,
That's
that
Beatles,
too.
right?
But you know Nirvana's version.
Something in the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is it this? Our audience knows that I had an eye issue. I still actually do
Yes.
have it. I still have this like stress-caused eye issue that mostly went away and then came back
So weird.
due to some work stuff we experienced. I actually have
breathing in
thing later.
breathing in pH up and fucking chlorine and renew
And dealing with
snorting
our manager, yeah.
snorting
Snorting
redwood
s-
dust, snorting sawdust
Snorting all of it.
inadvertently.
Inadvertent sawdust.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, and I know it's hard. I'm a sensitive guy, so
I'm
things
sensitive
affect
too,
me
man.
that way too. I mean, sensitive emotionally,
Mhm.
not so much physically. I don't have any allergies or anything, but
Yeah, which is nice.
yeah, it's hard to not let certain people things get to you. But if you don't take anything that seriously, that's like a huge way to deal with that.
But what if you're so detached from not
you
taking
don't wanna
things
be
serious, right?
You want to transmute shitty things into comedy.
Well, that would be a success.
That's my system,
I would like that.
and I'm not always successful at that, but that's what I try to do.
Mm.
Right? Somebody wants to fight you, you just sort of laugh because it's funny. It's like what, I'm fighting now? Like, what is this? It's a bro down.
I don't need
Got to
to
rub
bro
our
down.
nipples together and shove each other, mutually shove each other.
Well, some people want that. Some men want that platonically.
You mean just the nipple rubbing and the?
or just like even the
just the-
metaphorical nipple rubbing? Like I need to
just
we need to
the-
push against you so I know where
they
I
don't
end.
actually want to fight, but they want the
The
back
ch-
and forth.
They do.
thing.
They
Yeah,
do
yeah.
want that a little
The
bit.
dominance assertion or whatever.
Or to try it. Yes, to try dominance assertion. to
That's
see
what
the
gorillas do.
pushback
Is they
is.
they
Yeah.
just get in each other's face, and then one of them backs down, right?
Yeah, or they fight
And usually, if you just stand your ground, people will back down
most of the time.
most of the time.
Sometimes people want it more than you do.
Usually, if
They
people
start it.
are fucking with you, they're chemically altered,
and it's often
specifically by
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yeah, that's actually caused more violence than any other drug at
Hell yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I still think it has a place in our culture. So
Yeah.
here we are today.
Civilization begins with distillation.
And yes, it does. And today, what are we enjoying today? Let's have a nice little shot here. What are
We're
we,
enjoying some Racer 5. What camera are we on?
Ooh, we're frozen. We got a frozen camera over there.
Okay.
But Aubrey, here, hold up your. Yeah, there we go.
Which
Your-
one's
your-
frozen?
Yours. No, that one's frozen. You're good here.
God damn it.
So we're enjoying some Racer 5 IPA. Thank you. Thank you.
Should I check the camera or should we just keep going?
No, we're solved. We're back in the zone. We're
Ooh.
good.
God, I
We're
love
good.
it. I love that.
Okay.
Those are words. That's
Solved.
music to my ears.
Hey, this is me. This is doing good.
Music to my ears.
And Aubrey, camera, there he is. Look at that guy. Real handsome. All right. So I think that's my check-in. Can
That's
you
your
check
check-in.
in?
That's
What's up
your
with you?
check-in. What's up with me? Still trying to play music every night.
Yeah.
This past week didn't work out.
We've been doing
'cause
more of that.
the drummer's dealing with some family health things with his mom. So I get it,
Yeah.
And then you were camping, which I want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't
We'll
do
get some more to that.
We
yeah.
didn't do the rock on Wednesday, but Thursday we got together,
Mhm.
played some metal.
That was cool.
That was very cool. And it was just this shitty studio.
Oh my gosh.
It's so hard to get a good music studio, but a lot of why music studios are shitty is because musicians aren't inherently interior decorators,
Oh my gosh. That's very well said.
right? So we go into the studio.
One
and
fucking working light bulb.
one light bulb
Horrible.
on
It's
like a
fluorescent.
it's like track lighting of 3 light bulbs, but there's only one that works. No lamps, no Christmas lights.
Yeah, no rope light, nothing.
nothing.
It's like, what's the vibe we're going for in here?
Oh man. And just a like an alleyway between amps, like that.
Barely.
It's like everyone can just stand single file between amps and look at the drummer.
Every wall
That's-
has 4 feet of equipment against it. So
Right.
you have this
Right.
micro reduced cube
Right.
in the middle.
Yep.
So you've been trying
So
to make
many
music every
amps.
week. I mean, I didn't mean to derail
no,
you there.
Well, yeah, just some. So that was fun, and then, but this past week, trying to make music every week. This past week, it's only been a few days, 1 day, in fact.
Well, we'll probably play some
Um,
music later today.
Yeah. So, but other than that, good. I didn't go to Guitar Center this week.
Okay,
it's a good
nice.
thing.
Nice
Good
little
thing.
change of pace there. That's cool.
Good thing. I feel like there was something. What did I do? No, I want to hear about the camping trip, though. Where'd you go?
So you checked in?
I'm checked in.
Okay.
Thanks. Let me.
Yeah.
Check in. Thanks.
There it is.
Ooh, I like that.
So I went camping to a place called Bullfrog Pond. This place is beautiful, and don't
Any
go
frogs?
there.
Any ponds?
Lots and lots of frogs. Actually, many bullfrogs. In fact, they were a major audio feature of the space.
Nice. I like shit like that.
They're
I like,
super loud. It was cool.
I like it when there's tons of crickets or tons of frogs.
There was not only
Or
was there tons of bullfrogs,
cicadas.
tons of cicadas, tons of crickets,
You see
tons
any?
of little frogs. Yes, you
Yeah.
could hear that.
You saw the frogs?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there were little
there a-
baby greener ones about this big, and then there was the honker bowlers.
Isn't there a I don't know if it's true or not, but can't you lick the back of a frog in psychedelic?
There are certain frogs that if you were to poke or spear or get them to emit their
They
juices,
secrete
you
like
can
a
trip your balls off.
psychotropic
Yes,
liquid.
that's correct.
God damn it! So once we
God damn it.
once we could genetically engineer that into our own bodies.
Could do.
With genetic engineering, we could have like the
Venom pouches.
We could have the venom pouches. We could also have the ET finger lights up.
I'm in. I'm on. Yes.
So what's that called? Photo
Photobioluminescence?
bioluminescence. Thank you.
Yeah.
So like the firefly. So we can just have bioluminescent parts, right? Bioluminescent fingertips. You could also have octopus skin, like camouflage skin. So you could change like texture and color, like the octopus, and secrete like DMT.
That's not that crazy.
But it could be in such a way that I could secrete DMT, would have no effect on me, or drug or whatever. I could secrete a psychotropic, would have no effect on me, but would have an effect on you because it would be dialed into, like I would be immune to,
Interesting.
and that would
So you could be like on a date and you could go like,
yeah, and that would encourage communal psychotropic drug use.
oh, because we would all get together.
Right,
and
right,
we'd
right.
Everyone hook up your neighbor to the left.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like your
I get
sweat,
that.
your sweat could be ecstasy. MDMA sweat.
Wow.
But you would be immune to
You'd
it.
be
so it's-
fine.
so that you're not totally tripping balls all the time. Yeah. So yeah, that's my check-in, man.
Okay, well, check in.
Oh yeah, I guess that you're.
we were
Let me
there.
finish my check-in.
Well,
We're talking about your camping spot,
Did you finish your check-in?
Bullfrog Pond. I did.
Okay, so camping. Dude, it was beautiful. This one site there is
Where
at
is
the
this?
end of this thing. It's Guerneville,
Okay, so California,
yeah.
Northern California,
NorCal. Yeah, pretty close to the Bay Area.
north of where we are now.
North of, yeah. We actually took the Blood Alley to get there.
Okay. Then I've actually serviced a hot tub up there. That
No way.
guy, Yeah.
Ugh. Ugh. So we get up there and they allow fires now. They didn't briefly because it was super dry, but the pond was pretty full. There's lots of frogs. It was super beautiful. It was sunny. We had a magical experience, just mostly alone. When we arrived, there were people there in our campsite, and we were like, hey, we have this reserved. And like, oh, okay. And they moved. And they wrote 666 in glow-in-the-dark glue, huge on the table.
Huh.
Which, as you know, is the number I sometimes encounter.
Yeah.
And I encountered it again. And they were a little bit shitty, if I apply my empathy and imagination, they probably didn't want to move.
Of course.
They didn't. They were already drinking beer. They
Who
didn't wanna
wants to move?
They don't want to move.
Nobody
we were
nobody
like,
wants to move.
but we paid for this one specifically because it's
Right.
so cool.
You get on the airplane, it's like, well, I have the window seat. I have the aisle seat. Nobody wants to move. Nobody wants to move.
No. So I have empathy for that. And it was fine. I didn't actually
So they
swim in
were
the
they
pond.
like kicked out fully of the?
No, well, they just became our neighbors.
Oh,
They just went to the next spot over.
So they were still able to do their
Yeah,
thing.
they had a great
just,
time.
Just a few feet
And
over.
they stayed another night,
Oh, okay.
and they were just fine. So
Huh.
We had a lovely time. It was very private. We got to
Cool.
walk on trails. We had the dogs with us. We ate steak. I bought really nice porterhouses and
Yeah.
barbecued them right on the firewood. We had fine ales. Imagine me picking the ales.
Sure.
We had, just it was decadent and it was challenging, like I said, because of our special
Cuisine.
experiences. And I'm very grateful, and it was lovely. I
Could you swim?
want to go back.
Could you swim in the lake?
People were getting in the pond, but
And
there
you-
was a lot of bugs, man. A lot of
Yeah.
bugs. I was
The
deterred.
Freshwater lake, obviously.
Yeah.
Was it a mosquito problem or no?
There were skeets. We were rubbing oil, dabbing the clove oil on us the
See,
whole time.
there's nothing beats skinny dipping though at night.
She wanted to. She was like, "Let's skinny dip
Yeah,
at night."
yeah.
But the mud and the bugs, we were already feeling challenged.
The
so
only time I've done that was actually in Louisiana.
Ooh.
Super humid, super
When were
hot.
you in Louisiana?
2000. Super humid, super hot, fuckload of bugs. Did it anyway. It's fun. Scary though. Skinny dipping,
dipping in the dark. It's great.
It's scary though too, because it's like truly you're on the frontier.
And
you're-
what could
you're
you
like-
kick? What's gonna nibble your toe?
Yeah,
no
what
idea.
are you gonna step on? Do you want to touch the bottom? Are you sure you want to touch the bottom? What do you think's
Are
down
you,
there?
are you sure?
Then you look,
wanna-
and it's like just moonlight and just a sheer black glass surface. And you're like, wow, I'm really at the frontier of like, from whence I came, crawling out of the muck, primordial muck onto the shore.
Nice. I
And
agree
also-
with that. Yes.
And also like the infinity above you. It's like this interzone.
it is an
interface,
Nice, nice.
Cool. So Bullfrog Pond.
I advocate that we take our friends and go there because that specific campsite was so remote.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of things you couldn't normally do at campsites.
Is it? Did you have to park and hike, or could
Mhm.
you? Okay.
You had to. There was this narrow trail of about 100 feet you had to go down, which is kind of weird because you sort of have a grassy, multi-level private area. So you come on there and you walk down a little bit, and then you've got this kind of bigger spot, and then it cliffs off. So behind the campsite is just open cliff, like nobody's there.
Huh.
And then there's trees all around the campsite, and then the only way to it is this narrow little pathway that you have to go down after you park. So
I like that.
if you were to put a tent up on this front lawn area I'm describing,
Yeah.
you could camp naked, basically.
Huh.
So it's like if people were looking to camp naked, that could be a thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not a naked outside person.
Oh, I
You-
thought. Yeah.
Oh, you
I
would?
thought you had
Okay.
to raise your hand.
Well, you could be as naked as you want, and I'd be happy for you. I don't really care about nudity and other people. I'm just not particularly into it for myself. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think you speak for most of humanity.
you're like, it's like whatever. I mean, I've been to Burning Man. I've been seeing so many wieners and boobs and vaginas. It's just like
Yeah.
we're fine.
You see a lot of that. A lot more boobs than wieners.
Yeah, which is good.
But you do see the wieners. And you're kind of like, there's all that playa dust up in your.
your
You got
your urethra.
You got a chimney sweep the wreath.
The wreath. Don't say the
Sweep-
wreath again.
Sweep the wreath. Okay. Nice,
So yeah,
dude.
camping was rad. I
So it's
advocate
not bike.
Bullfrog.
Is it bike campable? No.
We would have to be extreme badasses to make it up. There's a 2-mile
that'll
finish
never happen.
road where it's like it's an extreme thing, man. It's like the van had I mean, Rebecca couldn't drive it. She was like, "Can you do it?" Because
You took Vandra?
we did. We got her fixed up and legal, so we took her out there, and she did great. Vandra is our 1989 Chevy G30 van. It's got a bed in the back. We keep our camping gear. It's like basically our little motorhome.
pretty sweet,
It's
yeah.
really sweet. It's old. Almost nothing works on it besides the engine. So
That's all
no
you need.
radio, no no heater. None of that works at
That's
all.
all you need is the engine.
It's engine, transmission, rear
Just
end.
hauling metal.
It's this
around.
We hauled and we didn't sleep in it though, because I have that really nice tent.
I imagine it would be hot as fuck.
Well, not at night. It was fine.
Yeah.
But we have that nice tent. We pulled the tent down to our camp area, and we set the tent up and put the mattress. We have a queen mattress we put in the tent.
Oh, the air
Because
mattress?
we keep a
the
real
real
mattress.
mattress.
So when we
That's the
camp,
way to
we
do it.
camp on a real mattress.
Ah,
man.
dude, that's sweet.
Fucking
That's the way to do it.
unbelievable.
Shit.
So yeah, don't everyone go camping there all at once, please. But if you're thinking about it,
Okay,
check it
yeah.
out.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, that's Bullfrog Pond.
Nice.
Thank you. Okay,
I mean, if you don't have any topics, I have a couple things.
please begin. I've been topicing it up for a while.
This was just a kind of impromptu off the cuff topic. I was thinking of on the way here. Traffic.
Oh shit!
It just
This is a cuff.
in the same way that all sort of areas of knowledge are governed by evolution. Traffic is just every fucking where. Think about the Bay Area, right? So we live in the Bay Area of California, and it's just rush hour is basically 6 a.m. to 5:59 a.m. So there's about 1 minute where there's no traffic each day. It's always traffic. Always fucking traffic.
Especially at the
And-
corridor of Oakland.
Yeah. It's
Going
just
to
a
the
mess.
bridge. Oh,
It's just a
Jesus.
fucking mess. And always traffic, and there's always an accident. So it's like Google should just have Google Maps. They should presume that there's going to be an accident.
Just presume one
Just
car
presume.
upside down.
So it's what, 8 miles from my house into San Francisco. Hour and 10 minutes.
Brutal.
So you can do the math, but 7
What's the
miles.
average miles per hour on that one?
Be like 8 or something.
So basically, twice the speed of walking.
Yeah.
What?
It's obscene.
It's terrible.
I mean, if you biked 7 miles,
You could do it in
be
under
an
an
hour.
hour.
Yeah, be an hour. But you can't go over the Bay Bridge in a bike.
Yeah.
You have to drive, and you have to pay a toll. And there's just always traffic.
Dude,
And
traffic.
even at the grocery store, right? There's traffic. Like any line.
Oh, yeah. You
Any
go to,
li-
you
like
go to
traf-
TJ's.
Traffic is basically just a line, like a queue, a line of people waiting to get somewhere.
It's a conjunction of lines.
And that, and so on the way here, I stopped at Safeway to get some provisions and traffic.
In Safeway?
Yeah, traffic in the aisles. Slow down ahead. You're on the best route despite usual traffic. You get in line. It's like traffic, right? Someone's like paying with a check.
Oh. Ooh, old
But-
person. Sorry.
And or like they get the the cashier's like, okay, that'll be $10.99, and the person's like, oh, okay. Then they start to pull out their wallet and stuff. Like, oh, that's right, I have to pay.
Oh, yeah.
I have to pay. So, like, oh yeah, that part. So I try to hit the empathy button on
Mhm.
that stuff.
Good job.
But man, it's just, and self-checkout lines aren't that much better.
No,
It
it's
still
the same.
sucks.
It's not faster. It's just
Yeah.
usually there's more problems.
More problems, right? Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll be like you'll just breeze through, but usually it's like, how many bags? 0. Please put your bags on the staging area.
Yeah. No.
0 bags.
0 bags.
How many bags? No bags. There's an unauthorized item in. It's just on and on.
Dude,
and
yeah,
on and on and on.
unauthorized item in the bagging area is like,
It's like there's the unauthorized molecule that landed on the bagging area scale. Please remove it.
did you see that Amazon's doing a solvution problem solver for that? They're doing
About
it, man.
Goddamn time.
They're doing the store where you walk in, you can pick up an item, you can even put it back and leave it, and it won't.
Walk out.
You just walk the fuck out.
Either RFID, you got fucking NFC.
You just turn the app on when you go
all
in the
kinds
store,
of shit.
and everything you walk out with, it knows. And
Beautiful.
there's no lines, no nothing, dude. They're already doing it.
Biggest problem with that is booze.
Oh, for kids.
No, it's just how do you vet people for age? I guess if it's
The app would have
they
to vet.
know
Yeah.
Right. All your shit's on file, so they know what your age is.
If you make a fake thing, then you go to jail. So I mean, it's your fault. It's not Amazon's fault there.
Right.
So traffic will be removed.
And they wouldn't
in
let
such
you.
a place.
The app wouldn't let you do it. It would somehow a siren
You
would go off or something.
You have to put your social in to know.
It would be
who
like
you
the
are.
library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Take what you need, and you just.
dude, how
God,
sweet
the
would that
library
be?
should do that. Library is pretty efficient
It already
already,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. There's many
you-
librarians in my family.
because you could like call ahead and have You could place holds.
Oh yeah, you could. Fuck calling. You just app ahead.
Yeah.
Make sure Catcher on the Rye is there when
Right,
I get there.
When I say call, I mean
Right? We're conditioned.
forbid you should
That's like
actually
God
speak to a
forbid,
person.
right? That we're conditioned to say God too.
God forbid you should speak to an actual person.
So
but with the library, I could just punch it up on my InterZone machine
thank you.
and log into my account and place some holds and say where I want to pick it up. That's it. And if you could do that with like consumer products, it'd be fucking awesome. Like Amazon Locker sort of paradigm. Have you used Amazon Locker?
I haven't. I've heard about it.
So you can get it delivered to your house, but you can. This is what I do now: is I get it delivered to the 7-Eleven, University in San Pablo. And once it's delivered, you get a code on your phone. You get like an email with the with a number code and a barcode, so you could print it out, whatever. So you walk up to the machine, punch in the code, and then one of the lockers just.
Do you ever have
opens
to
up.
wait in traffic to get to this thing?
No, I've never have.
That sounds like a traffic solution. That sounds like these are like
Right,
technical
right.
solutions to traffic.
And imagine self-driving cars with traffic.
They'd be way better at it than us.
And it would be weird because you'd be approaching an intersection at like almost full speed, like let's say 30 miles an hour, and you'd see another car coming. You'd be like, oh fuck! But then it would seamlessly go behind you or in front of you, and so the first few dozen times you'd be like, when you're approaching intersections, like oh my god, look, we're gonna crash.
Yeah, streetlights
But
are a
then
thing
it
of
would
the
just
past.
but then it would just become natural.
You wouldn't even need streetlights anymore. in
There wouldn't
that
be any
scenario.
any street lights.
But they'd be filled with sand. I don't know.
That's true.
Okay.
And one of the biggest. I mean, why does traffic happen? It's because people
it's
doesn't
manufactured.
People doesn't know where they're going, or people are driving like shit
It's also manufactured.
and manufactured, and there's accidents. And
Mhm,
I mean, there's a
mhm,
lot
mhm.
of things. And
Repair work.
self-driving cars would take most of those variables away.
Yes. Traffic and self-driving cars are
I feel like
basically
we're-
in harmony.
I feel like we have to get. We'll get back to another episode on self-driving cars because that's
I think that we've
lot
got to
to
revisit
cover
it.
there.
And there's more news on it too. Things have happened. And that's good to do.
so traffic.
I think traffic is manufactured. If you think about city designers and you look at Highway 80, if any of our listeners are in the Bay Area of California, you know Highway 80 crosses basically, I think, the U.S. from east to west, west to east.
Yeah, I think it goes all the way.
Pretty much down the middle.
Yep.
And this highway in some of the most busy sections ever is, you can see like maybe 5 lanes wide on each side. But when you look at the space available in the area, it's extremely easy to visualize 40 lanes for each side. It's extremely easy to visualize. Not only could you do it
Right.
with sideways, you could do levels, you could go below, like anything.
And that's such a huge project that it doesn't seem feasible. What seems more feasible is just put more people in each car.
And that's why they try to encourage that with
Yeah.
the HOV.
Right. Which, I think it works on balance.
But you and I
that
don't
works.
use it usually. When we drive together, we're not
No.
enough people because it's 3+.
Could have like a dummy in your passenger seat.
Or an engineer.
People get caught doing that too.
One time there was a guy who had an LLC in his passenger seat. And since LLC's got personhood federally, he was like, this is a person. And so he used it to go in the community.
Oh wow, huh?
Yep.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, it
That's
happens. So I think that people designed, oil companies and car repair industries have so much to gain from there being traffic. It's insane.
Yeah.
If there wasn't traffic, there'd be way, 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 way less wear and tear on cars. Way.
Yeah. It's all about. I mean, capitalism's going to do what capitalism's going to do, It's all about getting incentives in place so that we minimize the shitty things.
Well, how do
So-
we?
So like 30,000, or maybe it's 300,000 deaths a year, car accidents.
Oh shit, man, that's brutal. You should probably
Super
double check
brutal.
that.
Super brutal. But we don't care enough about it to say, oh, no more driving, right? So that's just a fact of life now. Just massive death because of cars. And yeah, again, this is we're getting into self-driving car territory here, but
There were
just-
1.25 million road traffic deaths globally in 2013.
globally, okay.
Globally. That's from the World Health
Jesus.
Organization. Dude.
Globally,
Yeah. We would cut that down to 1%.
I think it's like
of
300,000 in America.
That would make sense. That's about right.
Because other places don't even have streetlights and shit. And there was one place in Sweden or Norway. It was like this very weird, dangerous road, and they kept trying to put up signs and lights to say, "Hey, this is dangerous," right? And it turns out when they took away all the signs and signals, it became way safer.
because people just took responsibility.
Huge.
That's cool.
That's a good argument against deregulation.
That is cool.
Let the people figure it out. I mean, you look at India, traffic in India, where there's like you enter an intersection. There's no lights, no signals. It just works.
There's also roundabouts.
Roundabouts are huge.
Roundabouts are a big deal, especially in Europe.
Yeah.
It's like more of a thing.
Yeah.
And there's a few here in California. Like we have some neighborhood roundabouts. They're great. Like think, what's the one at? There's a big fountain. Come on, help me out here. Marin.
Oh yeah. Marin Ave. Yeah.
Marin. Now Marin Avenue has that cool roundabout. Is there ever trouble there?
No.
How long do you ever wait to get in the circle?
Maximum
Like one or two cars.
seconds.
Yeah, maybe. If there was a light
Yeah.
there, it would be a disaster.
Yes. It would be a total nightmare because there's 6 roads off that. One,
Yeah,
two,
it's a
three, four,
6-way.
five, 6 ways.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. It's like self-driving cars. Like, oh, they'd be good at using their turn signal. They wouldn't need to use their turn signal. They probably would be out of deference for bicyclists and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
self-driving cars, even though other self-driving cars don't need to see the turn signals,
Mm-hmm.
they would still do it just for safety reasons.
Well, so we could see it if we were walking or
Just
biking.
walking or biking.
Yeah.
So traffic is just everywhere, and
Well, what's a question we can ask about traffic? Like, if we want to help efficient increase traffic, what might be some questions we would ask?
what's the single most important variable that we could change to improve traffic?
That's a good question.
Is it drivers? Is it etiquette? Is it speed? Is it infrastructure?
I think it might be automation. I think my answer to that might be automation is the most important
I
thing.
think you might be right. But then there's self-checkout lines. That's sort of an automation thing.
But that isn't really automated because you're still trying to fuck with the machine.
Yeah, it's still a person.
You're still interacting with the machine.
Persons fuck it up every time.
Well, we also create it up every time, so
Yeah, no.
give
I
us a
know.
little bit
I
of
mean,
that flavor.
It's always there's always a yin and yang, right?
Always a yin and yang.
You got something?
Nope.
I hear you. Oh, okay.
Just pulling together
I
the
got a
tech.
sound. I got a sounds good.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, let's finish up traffic with a little sound.
yeah.
And
So yeah, what's the single most what do you think is the single most important variable that could improve traffic? It's like a sonar.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. There we are.
Right.
Thank you. That was a freaking cool and quick topic. So I gotta. Oh, sorry about
Oh.
that. But you have a sounds good.
A little bit of it sounds good.
Thank you.
Wasn't very.
is Bill Holm with the Hoffman
Oh.
Institute for Human Genomics.
Well, so
Man,
much for that. You got
another-
it. Sounds good. You got it. Something.
Well, I have a looks good.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, hit me with it. Looks good.
you got to look at it here. I wish we had it on our screen there.
Okay.
But
What
so
we got?
what this is this is just a thing.
What am I queuing up?
If you scroll through the video option, you'll notice there's a video. What it looks like a electric hot tub.
Hot tub.
Oh, yeah.
Fun times.
Okay.
Just down
So
here in a little
this
cave.
is
No big
like
deal.
just a little
Lots of
taste
fun.
of kind of some of the stuff that we do.
These things.
And I have this inkling that
Definitely
it would be
melted.
entertaining to make a show out of the shit we go through here. And I'm wondering if you all find it interesting. Like this little clip here that I got, and you
And play it
see,
again.
Yeah, please play it 2 or 3 times. You see, you're looking on here. Actually, let me see where we are here.
It ended.
Oh, here, just do it again.
I'm clicking. I'm hitting it again. It's not doing anything.
Yeah, you got it. I'll show you why. It's all right here. Just gonna quick. Hey, look, there we are.
Oh, I see.
And then
It's time to go to it.
Hot tub.
so here,
Fun
this
times.
is the inner workings of a hot tub.
Just
And then
down
I'm
here
in
in a
this,
little
like,
cave. No big
thing.
deal.
Look,
Lots of
It's
fun.
huge, like just dungeon
I
thing.
recognize this one.
And I had to get in there. And if you look, when I come back, look at you see
Definitely
it's
melted.
super burnt. So if you like hit the table it's on, it just throws sparks.
Yeah, I recognize that. hot tub.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like kind
Klein.
of ridiculous. Yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of ridiculous, right? And this is super
Yes.
cool guy, and he's all helpful. He's like, "Do you need anything? You want anything else?" Blah, blah, blah. But like, you not only what else is special about that one? You remember? How do you get to that hot tub?
It's a cubby hole. A hellish.
About
cubby
how
hole
big is
full
the
of
hole you got to climb through with all your tools?
It's like breaking into. It's like breaking into a school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like crawling through a transom window
Mm-hmm.
at the top, like near the roof.
Yes.
Crawling through like a skylight.
It's like crawling through a skylight.
Yes,
It's
very
a vertical
unpleasant.
skylight, and there's no the ground is about 4 feet below it, so you don't just like step into it. You have to like climb the fuck up.
Yeah, I
and
had
then
to.
go
I
the
had to
fuck
jock
through it.
myself going into it.
Yeah. How'd you get in? What'd you do? How'd you
One
get
le-
out?
One leg first. Just
Okay.
totally jock myself going in and out.
I grabbed. There was a beam above, and I swung from the beam
There you
with my
go.
feet up to the thing, and then scooted my butt in. And when I got out too, I just leaned back and grabbed the beam,
Yeah, yeah,
and then pulled myself out.
yeah. Well, I'm only.
you do that,
I'm
yeah.
2 feet tall, so,
So, yeah, 60
it was
pounds,
easy
2
for me
feet
to
tall.
squirrel in there, but it was still unpleasant as
And
fuck.
there's so much of that going on, man. And so
Yep.
the topic is like, I did another video on the show. Showed some spiders we were dealing with on one of these builds because we dismantled the tub and we built one. And guess what? There's a lot of spiders, and it's
Yeah.
crazy. Of course, I see the old favorites. You see the black widows. You see the daddy long legs. You see like the wolf spiders, but I always see new spiders. Like I could be
New
taking
species?
a photo log
Yeah.
of new species of
Yeah, yeah.
spiders specifically. I mean, you see your beetles. You have 2 or 3 kinds of beetles normally, but dude,
That's true.
how many
Beetles,
different spiders
slugs.
have you seen? Oh, slugs is always there.
Well, the spiders new. They're new every time.
That's what I'm saying. You see
Yeah.
new spiders
I mean,
every
the
single time.
Daddy long legs.
Of
is
course,
like,
they're always there.
It's like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up? You know.
And they're harmless, of course. They can't hurt us.
They're
They are
probably-
venomous, but they can't bite us.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I saw a black widow the other day, but of course it's not a black widow because it's too big. And I was like, oh.
It's too big of a black
yeah,
spider.
it's too
yeah.
big of a spider to be
Yeah.
a black widow. But it was pretty big. It's
Did you-
almost like palmetto bug. Like
Sometimes you can see the
bush.
bottom and look for that red hourglass, and that's how you know
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a black widow.
yeah, but I mean, it's just sometimes you go to these drain and fills and the tub hasn't been serviced in years, and there's whole new ecosystems and whole new species cropping up in this swamp zone.
Dude,
It's true.
that's what I'm saying. I think if you filmed that shit and I filmed this shit,
You know,
I don't know.
it could be like a PBS show, like dirty,
Yeah.
dirty jobs,
Mhm.
like
It-
hot tubs.
It could
Because-
come to the podcast even and be a thing
Right.
we just update, you know.
Because the hot tub owners, people want the gutty works. They don't want to see the gutty works.
No.
They want the pump, heater, all the
Filter.
gutty works. They want that to be invisible,
Mhm.
right? That's the idea. So what that means is that all that shit is in a fucking cubby hole somewhere. That's dank and
they've
shitty.
stacked. I could pull up pictures of this. I probably won't. They've stacked freaking like washing machines and dishwashers and dead bicycles and lawnmowers in the way of your pump.
Oh,
So you-
yeah.
So you arrive to the job and
Yeah,
it's like you can't get to it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's like that's common.
It
That's
is
how you know
common.
they just don't want to look at it. They just don't even want to look at
It's
it.
not uncommon.
So it's like
for sure.
there's this interesting thing. It's
Yeah.
kind of light. It's kind of fun. Aubrey and I both work for. We're half of this company.
Hot tubbing.
Hot tubbing.
Half of this company, we do a lot of hot tub maintenance, repair, and building.
And servicing and building. Between you and I, we do everything that the job does.
pretty much like
Yeah.
electrical. I'm still a little.
Me too.
Yeah. But everything else, like, fuck yeah. Yeah. It's good. You want to do, I gotta take a whiz. You want to maybe do FinalCorp or? you want me-
Let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Okay.
Hey Mom, what's for dinner?
Well, I was thinking of making some gelled meat casserole.
But we had that for breakfast.
Well, how about a nice big stack of salt pancakes with melted gummy bear sauce?
But we had that for lunch today at school.
Okay, honey, how about a couple of bowls of mayonnaise ice cream?
Cool. All right. Yippee. Can I have the poison ivy flavored ice cream?
You sure can.
And dirt fudge.
Yep.
Oh Mom, food's the best.
Thank you, FinalCorp, for sponsoring this episode. 50 years of experience, 75 flavors of mayonnaise.
Oh yeah, they do have 25 new flavors. Should we talk about that or?
Rusty Technology flavor is one of
Mhm.
them.
Old Pool.
Old Pool flavor. Chlorine flavor. That's a popular one. So thanks again, FinalCorp. The permanently sweaty headphones, we're using some of those right now, in fact.
Yes.
And
And-
what's cool about the permanently sweaty headphones is that they've recently included a little document with the headphones, so you know just whose sweat you're getting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the sweat on my headphones is a man from the East Coast who died several years ago.
Oh shoot.
His name was Ronald Lesteber.
Ronald Lesteber.
Ronald Lesteber.
So he's
he donated some sweat.
Scottish.
Yes.
Okay.
He donated some sweat, and I'm sort of basking. My ears
Well, it's
are
cool that
basking
that
in
they're
his sweat.
They're finally able
Thank you,
to
Ronald.
let you know whose sweat you're getting, because of course FinalCorp's permanently wet
Right.
hat.
A lot of people had complaints about that. Whose sweat am I getting? And yes,
Especially
indeed.
when the microphone gets caught on the chair.
How do I get
Cool.
back to the? There it is. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. You want to pilot that, baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Wow.
So,
Okay. So FinalCorp, thank you, FinalCorp. It'll be fine.
we do have another topic. You got something else though?
No, I want you to go ahead with your topic, please.
Okay.
But first, I just want to.
What other sounds you got there?
I got
Ooh.
or.
Wait, do the burp one again, and I'll hang on. That's cool. I think the camera froze, but it's funny.
That's okay. We'll pull it together. You'll fix yourself, camera.
Did you?
Yes,
want one?
please. I do. Thank you.
Well, you have to get it yourself. I just bent down. It takes a lot of work. I wanted to talk today about Skateboarding, huh?
Oh, cool.
Enough of these political concepts. Let's talk about some fun concepts.
Yeah, fun concepts.
It's a fun episode.
I used to do some skateboarding.
Talk to me.
So, yeah, I
Give
mean,
it maybe an overview.
I'll
like
start
when,
and
like,
then you go. Yeah.
When did you start? Who, like what friend got you into it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that first.
So, the beer I'm now pouring, New Belgium Citradelic, just so you all know. Thank you. Okay, yeah, so the friend that got me into it was Evan. And we're going to have him on the podcast here probably one of these weeks coming up.
Yes, indeed.
Our friends Kevin and also Jeremiah, the four of us really started skateboarding together. And I remember
At the same time?
Uh-huh.
There wasn't
Well, they were skateboarding before me a bit, but then they were doing it, and I was like, man, I want to do that too.
Okay. So they were skateboarding before you, and then
Kevin was, yeah.
Did you just move to the neighborhood, or like
Mhm.
how did? Okay.
I just was
'Cause
becoming
that's-
friends with Evan, basically.
That's how it happened with me too.
Yeah, okay, see?
I moved to a neighborhood, and there was a kid there. Kid, man, boy.
Guy, kid, man, boy.
Dean Tobin,
Okay, nice.
who I was sort of friends with before that, but it was like, oh yeah, he was like into skateboarding. I was like, what's this all about?
Now, what is this?
Yeah. So go ahead.
So they had a spot behind the house they could skateboard. It was like an open parking lot, like literally out their back gate.
Nice.
And then we made a rail grind thing that we put out there, and then we would come off a curb and grind it.
Right away.
Pretty.
is
That
the
was like one of
first-
the first things
Wow.
because we were builders. They this was a gift.
Yeah, yeah.
These
Like there was
guys
no
built me this thing. I don't know if you can pull this up.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
The same guys built me this, and they just built it from scratch because I'm a guitar guy, and they did all this. So these were builders, and we built the skate ramp right away.
No like bonuses first. It was just
Nope.
straight into ollies and grinds.
Straight into ollies and grinds. And like
Okay.
I was basically a good learner because I'd never really crashed hard. I would always sort of just start easy and then work my way up. Like I'd start at the bottom of the bowl, and I'd scoot around and go up and scoot around and go up a little higher, and then I'd get around. And that's how I did it.
So you had a bowl?
Well, what happened was
This is
we wanted
like-
more.
This is probably a decade after my experiences.
Right.
Because like everything's like skateboarding was cool a little bit when you started.
It was cool.
Yeah.
We
It
was
wasn't
already-
cool when I started.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that. We were cool when people saw us. I was like, oh, they're cool. So we found this parking garage.
But you were also in California where skateboarding was much more kind of accepted.
Ex-
And there
in-
were skate parks and there was
everywhere.
Like skate
and they're
culture.
free and yeah. So we weren't living close to a skate park, but we were close to was this apartment building. Under it had this parking
Mm.
garage. There was this huge like slope hill. It was like almost like a
Embankment?
embankment, but it was big, and then there was a little bit up the other way too. So it wasn't quite a half but
Okay.
it was like a half and a quarter pipe.
Right.
So
Natural embankments made out of cement. One
Yes.
of the best skate
So
features. of
we
all
went
time.
out to this apartment building, and we would skate it all the time, just doing whatever we could for hours, usually late at night.
Yeah.
Not drinking,
Huh.
not smoking pot.
yeah, same
Just
here.
completely sober.
Same here.
We needed to focus on the
Usually it
thing.
wasn't at night though. Usually it was all day, every day.
Okay, all right.
No drinking, no weed, nothing. Just sugar, like strawberry milk and fucking coffee cakes.
Fair
in-
enough.
in-
Sugar.
in
Yeah.
downtown Hingham, Massachusetts.
What's that? Oh, is that a place?
It's a place. And yeah, so for me, we moved from one place in town to another, and there made a new friend, Dean Tobin, and he was into skateboarding. And it was like, what's this? What's this all about? What's going on here? And there were a couple things about skateboarding. It's hard to pin down exactly what what draws you to it,
Flow.
Flow is a big part of it.
Flow.
That came later, though. At first, it was like, just I get out of the house. I
Friends.
kind of hang out with like nerdy, sort of outcasts like me. And we're doing this thing that like no one really knows about.
That's cool. Whoop. Lost it. That's back. It was small when we started it. So, I got to share too, and I want you to jump in also. Like, soon after this apartment area, we went to skate parks, and then I started going during the daytime to these skate parks. There's this
Let me
one.
jump in.
Okay, jump in.
0 skate parks near
Where
me.
you were? 0.
In Massachusetts. The South Shore. There were skate parks. There was maybe 1, I think. Very far away. No one had a car. You know, I was like 14, 15 when this
You
shit
skate
got
all the
real.
way there?
No, I just never went.
Oh.
It wasn't about. That's why I was
just
so into.
impossibly far.
That's why I was so got into street skating because that was the default style of skating. There were no
Oh.
skate parks.
So you guys would just skate around in a town.
The irony is that now in the town one of the towns I grew up in, there's a skate park, like
Maybe because of your
a
all
stone's throw away from my house. Whereas before it was like cops would come immediately.
Dude.
Skating has gotten more accepted, more mainstream, cooler. But when I was skating,
Richer people skate now.
I was a skate fag.
Oh.
And I would get called the skate faggot.
What?
Oh yeah, big
But
time.
how does skating and homosexuality conflate?
I don't know. I think people call other people faggots when they don't understand what they're doing.
Huh.
Sometimes,
You know, like the
or maybe jealous or envious.
Louis C.K. does it where he goes, when you call somebody a faggot, it's not like about them being gay. It's like, be gay, I don't care. I mean, you could, and his example was, like, people from Phoenix are called Phoenicians. And he's like, quit being a faggot. Like, that was a lame thing to say, you know, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nerdy thing.
Yeah, well, that was the milieu in which I grew up. Was
No, he's,
Faggot
put that
didn't-
dick back in your mouth and quit being a faggot. That's right.
right. Faggot didn't mean gay person.
Well, it's a cigarette in
It
some
just
cultures.
it just
yeah.
meant it just meant like something.
Right.
Like what it was like a placeholder for something I don't understand, and I'm gonna give you shit for something I don't understand.
Interesting. So you're kind of
Like
outing
you metal,
yourself.
you metal faggot, right?
Right.
I don't know what metal is, but I'm gonna call you a faggot about it.
Because, okay.
So there
So
was
you were
that.
teased for skateboarding.
Oh yeah, big time,
That's-
big time, big time.
I was reverse. It was like, oh, you skate? That's
no one in
cool.
my high school skated.
Huh. Well, I wasn't. This is after high school for me. I was older. I was like 19.
Oh, okay. So for me, 14, 15,
Okay.
got into skateboarding, doing bonelesses, practice on the grass, all this stuff.
Oh, without trucks or with trucks?
With
Just a
trucks,
board?
but you just you practice moves in the grass because then you couldn't. The board
couldn't
couldn't
biff it.
fall off and totally fall.
Were you
bail.
breaking decks?
No, not.
So in your
At first, I was not breaking decks. Eventually, we would focus decks as a dickhead move. Like you-
focus? Wait, what do you mean?
focus means you jump super high, and you land, and you just break someone's board in half. And that's like, you can just do that if you want to be an asshole. Or if someone's being an asshole, you just focus their board. And then they don't have a board.
Ouch.
So that was something, but that's intentionally breaking a board. Whereas in the beginning, I wasn't intentionally breaking boards.
Well,
I
you?
did break my foot
Ooh.
practicing on the grass. That was the irony. Because I was practicing moves like going off the tennis court and like doing a kickflip and landing in the grass. Right.
Huh.
That's how you would sort of practice like the move.
That's weird.
It is weird now that I say it, but that's the only injury I've gotten.
Was from when you
skateboarding.
landed in the grass?
Right. Right.
One time I fell on my keys really hard, but that was really it.
So here's some history
Oh
of
my god,
skateboarding.
are you holding paper?
It's something called paper?
Yeah!
I love
Round
to-
of applause. We have some paper here in the room. There's just so much technology.
I love to kill trees, and that's the only reason I did
But
this.
we could grow trees and kill them. It's fine. We can grow them. It's paper's sustainable. It's not. Paper isn't unsustainable. You just have to use the amount you can grow.
Yeah. So cool. Thank
Yeah.
you. I have a couple things here. I have 2 timelines,
That's cool.
and I'm going to try to synthesize them and sort of present them at the same time.
Thank you.
So the origin of skateboarding, right? Where did this all start?
In the 70s in California.
Okay, 70s in the California, based on surfing culture. My notes say 1950s,
Holy shit.
probably like 59 though.
Okay.
Had to be late 50s, right?
I know one of the guys who's in the movie Dogtown.
Okay.
You know the
That
movie
was-
Dogtown?
yeah, yeah, and
One
that
of the original skaters. I know one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. Imagine that.
God, we should get him as a guest.
We could totally. We could probably call him right now.
This is skateboarding part 1 of an infinite number. of
Okay.
skateboarding.
Well, maybe we'll have him on.
just
Let's hear
like
about what you got. Yeah.
Shakespeare, skateboarding goes on and on. So, according to my notes, the first skateboards started appearing in Southern California skate shops in the late 50s.
That is surprising to me. I didn't think that. I figured you
Thought
were
it was-
gluing
I-
roller skates to plywood.
I
It's
thought it was
somewhere in the
later.
60s.
I
Yeah.
thought it was later.
Yeah. And it probably was like a fucking surfboard with roller skates on it.
Plank with wheels.
Yeah.
Like, someone probably did that in ancient times.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I mean, your bearings weren't so great. You had to use like whale blubber for bearing grease, but that's
Or
fine.
wagon wheels, you know?
Sure. You're skateboarding on a giant wagon.
Someone must have done that at some point. So,
yeah.
a pair
Inventions.
of metal roller skate wheels to the bottom of wooden plank. That was the 1950s skateboard.
Okay. Yeah. Was it operable? Could one skateboard it?
Yeah.
Is there a name? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, just the name is skateboard. But yeah, the had its roots in the culture of surfing, right? And you can imagine it in sunny Southern California where the weather is always perfect. All you want to do is cruise down to the beach, surf all day, cruise home. So wouldn't it be cool if there was a way to kind of surf on the sidewalk? On the way to actually surfing the waves. Sidewalk surfing. So, 1960.
Sidewalk surfing.
That's when skateboarding got really popular. 1960.
1960.
They were starting to do like freestyle stuff and doing like choreographed like dance shows
On
where
skateboards.
where you'd be doing a skateboard routine, like fire spinning would be today, something like that.
That is
Right.
interesting. I wonder if we could see a
esoteric,
video on that.
esoteric performance. Board shape remains relatively similar. Clay wheels are introduced
Clay.
in the 60s. So it's just a plank, roller skate, trucks, and now clay wheels.
Wonder why clay? Why not just stick with
Probably
rubber?
better than,
We had rubber in the 50s.
yeah. Well, now skate wheels are polyurethane.
Yeah, which is plastic.
Right.
Yeah.
So why not polyurethane, right?
Well, polyurethane, I think, is what we're arriving at is good for skateboards presently.
Everything is always evolving. So 1963, skateboarding reaches a peak in popularity.
Really?
Life magazine features Pat McGee on the cover of the magazine. So that's like a cultural moment, right? When a popular magazine of the day features a skateboarder.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. Now it's kind of mainstream.
It's like Life
1963, though.
magazine is sort of the mainstreamer of
There are
things.
many ups and downs in the history of skateboarding.
Huh.
Gets popular, doesn't gets popular, falls out of favor. 1965, skateboarding takes a sudden dive in popularity.
Huh.
Just a fad,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Doesn't but
Just a fad.
but I'm from the future, so
like
I know.
disco. It's like anything else. It's just
Okay.
a fad.
Blah blah.
Fuck it. 1966. Popularity wanes further. Skateboard companies die out because it's not popular. They can't sell enough product to keep making product.
Oh, so the skateboard companies go under.
And the enclaves of skateboarders shrink.
Hmm.
And that forces skateboarders to start making their own stuff.
Huh.
That to me is kind of a watershed thing.
Yeah. Okay.
1970. Okay?
Okay.
Urethane wheels.
Oh shit.
Until this point, skaters used clay or even metal wheels. Like the early roller skates were just metal wheels. These wheels spark new interest in skateboarding.
Spark.
Street skating is in high gear. Public skate parks are developed. New tricks are invented daily.
Wow.
Late 70s, parks start to close. There's no more interest. Once again, popularity wanes in the late 70s. Now,
I'm surprised by that.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'm surprised that I just picture it as just like a trajectory upwards since
That's what I thought too.
75. You have like Tony Hawk, and then he's all the video games and
That's
the
what I thought, too.
sports beverages and clothing line, and it's just.
Right. How could it not be completely mainstreamed at this point?
But so in the 90s it took a dip.
Well, we're only at 70.
79, late
t-
70s,
Like mid 70s.
I thought you said late 70s.
At the end of the 70s,
Okay.
things start to fall apart.
Okay, keep going.
But I have some other years in between. The kicktail. So,
Uh-huh.
the physically, in terms of the design of the skateboard. So we have a history and we have the design.
Is that an image? Can I see the image?
You can see the image for sure.
I think we should.
So
to the camera, too.
1970s, that's
Okay.
when the kicktail emerges.
Oh yeah. I had one of these. Is that you have this? Yeah. We're gonna eventually just it's gonna be just a click away. But
You know what? I could have made a video and like a slideshow
and then
made
send
it
it
a
to
video.
me.
Yeah,
And then,
exactly. That's a cool next level.
Yeah,
thing.
that's the next level.
So the kicktail in the 70s, the kicktail emerges, right? Which is to say, instead of a flat plank with two roller skate wheels, it's a plank that's bent at one end,
right?
upturned,
And there's
like a
like-
hockey stick on roller skate wheels.
Like sandpaper now or before? You know what I mean?
I think that was later.
Still no sandpaper.
I think so.
Like grip tape.
Grip tape, exactly.
It's grippy sandpaper.
1973.
Wait, whoa. Okay, this is two
So
narratives,
we're,
right?
We're still in the 70s here.
Okay.
I'm still covering the 70s.
70s.
I gave you a lowdown on what the 70s board looked like. It's just
Mhm.
a plank, kicktail,
Got it. Okay.
urethane
Alright.
wheels.
Got it.
But there's some cultural things that happen. The Ocean Festival in Del Mar, California. Basically, a certain team of skateboarders arrived at that contest and, like Lennon on Rubber Soul, kicked the door in and were like, this is the new thing.
Huh.
This is the new kick-ass way to do this. They like stormed a rather traditional festival with this new like sort of idea of skateboarding.
And what?
Like, oh, it's not just sidewalk surfing. It's not just the same old shit. This is a new paradigm.
Okay.
Aggressive, innovative style of skateboarding.
Okay.
So you can see the origins of street skating in the 90s and that shit, big time.
Uh-huh.
The Zephyr team arrived and blew the contest away with a new, aggressive, innovative style of skateboarding. This event catapults skateboarding into the public eye. Most famous of these Zephyr team riders were Tony Alva, Jay Adams, and Stacy Peralta of Powell Peralta.
Huh.
So-
Interesting.
End of the 70s, Alan Gelfland invents the ollie.
Huh. The ollie.
World-changing, universe remaking concept. Now it's not just about sidewalk surfing, it's doing cool lines.
Right.
Now
But
it's
now you
about
can
now it's
jump
about we
over
can jump
obstacles.
on things.
You can
do
jump.
stuff.
Yeah. You could never
You can now
jump before.
Right. It's like a video game where I can't jump in
Yeah,
this video
now
game.
you can jump.
Now you can jump.
Fuck. That's a game changer.
Total
It's a game changer.
A universe recreating
Yeah.
concept.
The fucking ollie.
It's like, oh, now, wait, what? Everything can be the ground, and we can jump to different levels, and it's just
Who's the first? Okay, I have like all these questions. Like,
Yeah,
who's
go ahead.
Who's the first person to grind? Because The ollie and the grind, I think, are cousins, right?
There was like the slap up grind where you didn't have to jump onto the curb. You could just sort of
Sure, we all start there.
just,
You can
like,
kind of
thrust
wave
it
over.
there.
But what if you're coming up to a curb and you did an ollie and then landed on your
I see what you're saying.
and slid
Who's
on
the-
your
who's-
on your back, just the wood part.
Who's the
not
first-
even
Who's the first guy to do a 50-50 slide?
50-50 slide or even the ollie up to a
Yeah.
handrail of stairs and then
Well,
on
that's
the trucks
that
right
comes
down
later.
the
That's
trucks.
That's 90s.
Okay.
That's 90s for sure. I remember when that happened. That was like when I was like, I'm out.
I'm out.
But these are good questions. Do you have more questions there?
Well, it's like
Before the ollie, so we're still pre-ollie.
so we're pre-ollie.
Everything I've said up to now, we just got to where the ollie's invented.
So the new aggressive
Insane.
style you were talking about a moment ago is pre-ollie.
Probably on the cusp,
So they were like maybe tipping up the front and
doing
stuff.
huge curves,
Big,
huge grinds.
swips, probably short like whooshes
Yeah.
even, you know what I mean?
Because those guys were all mega surfers, Alva and Peralta.
Okay.
And Peralta went on to found Powell Peralta, which is just a huge influence in skateboarding
Okay.
in the 80s and 90s.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, that makes some
So-
sense. So the ollie's invented.
1978. Right? Skateboarding's on the down.
Yeah, it's like
Popularity is waning.
it's waning.
Zeppelin is super popular.
Okay, so
1978, some guy invents the ollie. Probably by accident.
probably
Probably
like
by
champagne
accident.
was an accident,
Probably
right?
by a fucking accident.
Dude.
And the ollie, for those who are not skateboarders,
Yeah,
it's a combination of you.
Could you show us? Could you stand up and show us?
No.
Oh. We could get a skateboard in here.
Basically, one leg goes down and kicks the board up, kicks one side of the board down, while your other foot brushes up against the board to move it upwards. So like the board sort of follows your leading foot, and suddenly you're jumping with the board attached to you. That's what it meant, you know.
Yeah,
You could take the board with you as you jumped.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you couldn't jump
you
as
push
high because
down
you
on the
couldn't. You
back
couldn't just
and you
jump
slide.
as high as you normally could without a board.
Yeah.
But you could still sort of jump by kicking down fast on your back foot, lifting with your front foot. Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
it's almost like if you were to jump a fence, you put your hand here, and you jumped over this leg, and then this leg,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
It's like the fulcrum, sort of. Okay. All right.
And that changed the fucking game forever.
Okay. Well, what's next historically?
1979, skateboarding takes a second dive in popularity.
Ooh, lower level.
Insurance rates for skate parks rise. Many skate parks have to close because of that. 1980s. So 1980s, we see wide boards with short noses and sort of a swoop in the side. You know, that's where you grab it. You go up on the vert ramp. Slide rails, the plastic rails, were
On the si-
attached on the bottom.
They're getting heavy now, man.
Yep.
These skateboards are getting real heavy.
Getting super glam. Most boards use large soft wheels.
Still
urethane.
poly.
Urethane, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Skateboarding became underground 1980 on.
Oh, it just jumped. It was no longer permissible.
Small, privately owned skateboard companies pop up, owned by skaters. So skateboarders were just creating their own companies. No one was there to support them, so they just started their own businesses.
Makes sense.
It becomes very personal in the 80s. Stacy Peralta teams up with George Powell to create the first skateboarding video, the Bones Brigade video show.
That was the first skateboarding video.
According to this,
What year is this?
84.
Huh.
There are other ones that predate that, but that was like the popular one.
Okay. It was like
You know what I mean?
I get that. It's like the
It's
first
the one that
popular
broke through. It was the
skateboarding.
stars. That was the Star Wars of skateboarding videos.
So other non-skaters watched it.
yeah,
Okay.
and pretty much every skater saw it
So that's a cinematic feat.
because it was, in some ways, it was like an acknowledgement of the culture of skating. Like, you're not alone. There's also this other thing going on.
You can do it now. So it was like trying to shine light on it seems.
Yeah, and skateboard videos became a new way for skaters to feel like they could contribute to, they were part of something big.
Hmm.
We would, personally, me and my friends, we'd watch skate videos to get pumped up to go skate.
That makes sense.
We'd all like a bunch of people would meet in somebody's house. We'd all like put on Hocus Pocus by H Street or whatever it was, and just get super pumped up. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, totally. That trick's cool. Let's go do it. And that was like the meditation, like the pre-game.
Hmm.
That was like the
That's
pep talk-
awesome.
Pep
That's
talk.
awesome.
Pep talk before skating.
Dude, that's super cool. That seems like an important thing. I think we watched a lot too. Like I remember we were watching CKY and Jackass, and there was skateboarding in that.
Yeah.
And I got in.
So you're kind of the generation after me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was
sure.
watching Jackass, and we were seeing all these cool skateboard things, and then we would do that too, watching Jackass. Basically, we'd go out and skateboard, and we did luge stuff too. We got into like high speed, big street, lay down luging with just skateboards, trick boards.
Ah. Dude, that's pretty ballsy.
We were going. I think
Where
we
did
were
you
close
go?
to 30 miles an hour. We were in Redwood
Yeah.
City. We were going down Alameda de las
that's-
Pulgas.
That's a wipeout. If you fucking
Dude, and we weren't helmets, and we
Right,
weren't
right.
filming, and we had a car. We had a car with what we had is a car behind us with headlights shining down because we did Alameda de las Pulgas, and we did other the neighborhood streets too. They
Yeah.
were like windy down, and so we would lay down on a trick board. I would lay down on a trick board.
no helmet.
No, short hair, so safer. And then like I would tuck in, and I
Young,
would go
dumb, full of
luge
cum.
down these neighborhood roads in these mountains, just because there was a mountain there and we could.
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
great,
of course. Why not?
and the wheels are melting. I mean, it's not meant for this.
Right.
And we're just jamming.
Yeah.
And
if
the only
you're
reason
going-
we
if
can
you're
see
going
is
like
because there's a
30,
car
that's-
behind us.
Right.
So that's how it would work. There'd be a car behind us to shine headlights, and then if a car came up, they'd see us because
Oh,
we
okay.
were in a car.
So your buddy was behind you in a car.
Yeah.
It
So we
wasn't
had
like-
a car. We
Wow.
were basically
That's a good
trying to
idea.
do it.
That's
but
a good idea.
yeah, that's why we
Okay.
were doing it. It's fun.
That's cool. That's cool as hell. Nice.
Going
So-
pretty fast.
Yeah, I wiped out. My worst skateboarding
Worst
wipeout
skateboard wipeout.
was just a giant raspberry.
Oh.
Going down a hill super fast. You get the speed wobbles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to bail. And then I was like trying to run.
Trying to run
Try-
after
trying
you
to-
bailed?
Like you're going like 25, and you bail. And you can't run 25 miles an hour. So
Not
you
even
like get
close.
off your skateboard. Then you're like running, and you just eventually fall behind and pitch forward. And just the whole entire side of my calf was like just scraped away. That was probably the worst. Because I never broke a bone or anything. That was just a bloody.
Okay, so
A bloody
it was
situation.
going. You tried to catch yourself with a flailing run,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
my worst ever. And this actually was. I already said this. Is when I fell on my keys. It sounds lame,
No.
but
no.
like, okay, I had.
That's the
I had a
worst,
I
man.
had like
This is
two
like blunt,
cars.
blunt trauma.
I had two cars at the time.
It doesn't cut through. It
Uh-uh.
just, it's just.
So I had all these fucking keys in my right front pocket, and I was off work from flight attending. I was in between trips, and I was like,
Yeah.
I just want to skate around a little bit on the early part of my day. Just get out of my way. I just want to do that. I don't care. So
Just a relaxing,
just
just a relaxing moment of
a relaxing
skateboarding.
moment. I was just like, I just need a skateboard. So I got out in the street, and I started going. I got about 4 blocks, and then it was like a pebble.
It's never that
Ugh.
easy. It's never that easy.
Pebble stops me. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm a big man, and there a little rock is able to fully stop me cruising down the road. And it's like, okay, that's a bad design. This is a bad design that this can happen. So and then
If you had
I fall
inflatable
off.
tires, it wouldn't happen.
I fall off and land directly on my keys.
Where were the
And-
keys?
In the right front pocket. Because I write
Weird.
goofy.
Oh, so you on your hip?
It was my right front pocket, inside the pocket, and I fell forward and down onto my hip, and like I was
How
in
weird.
pain for
That's
like
a
a
weird-
month.
Yeah.
Like I bruised something deep inside of my leg because it hurt to walk for a month, and it was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
But that's the worst crash.
I'm
I
with
ever
you,
had.
man, because I think my worst bike crash was basically that's what happened.
Hmm.
And you were there. That was the one that Sammy P won in the city.
Ooh, that was a pinner, man.
That was just
zinged
like
it.
full head first dive. But it didn't fuck up my head or anything. But my one of my legs was like fucked.
Yeah, and that video is brutal. It looks like you were bleeding everywhere,
Huge.
and you kind of were.
Kind of was.
Yeah,
But
man.
but also like just you can feel like the bone.
Didn't
It's
you
the
lose
it's
a
the
phone?
stuff that's not bleeding that hurts the most.
Totally. Fuck, blood
Just
doesn't
like,
really hurt.
I can feel that those bones are like in another. They're in like a different position now, slightly different.
And then you get to pedal uphill all day.
Yeah, that was rough, man.
I'm sure glad we don't have trailers and shit because that would just be
Yeah,
a disaster.
there was a lot of adrenaline going on too.
Okay,
I was like, well, I have to take advantage of this this adrenaline after this crash. I know I don't. My mind. I don't want to go all the way to China Camp. I just want to like go home,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm also injured, and this will actually, the endorphins are going to kick in pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that to
And you
to actually
did,
get
man.
closer to the destination.
Remember that same exact trip we were pedaling uphill with all of our gear, passing those kids had rented bicycles. Go up the same hill.
Every time.
And we're passing them, and we have gear on.
The Italian or French tourists.
Sure.
Tourists.
Uh-huh. Tourists
Renting
are on their
bike-
rent
yeah.
bikes in San Francisco, and they're pedaling up this hill. This one guy was like, "Wow, you're strong." And I was like, "Yep."
Like on those bikes. Yeah.
It was cool. Okay, so what is the fastest you've ever gone on a skateboard? What's the fastest you've ever gone?
It was probably that time I wiped out, and it was probably like 25.
So wait, your crash and your fastest is the same?
Fastest without crashing? Is that what you mean?
I just mean the fastest you've ever been on a skateboard.
I think they're the same, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And it was probably around 20,
Well, that says something.
25.
25. That's fast.
I
That's
get-
really fast on a
Like
skateboard.
on a skateboard, it seems faster than if you're on a bike, and on a bike, it seems faster than if you're in a car.
Uh-huh.
So if you're in a car doing 20, it's like, eh.
Yeah.
If you're on a bike doing 20, it's like,
Yeah,
If
it's
you're
like
on a skateboard
all right.
doing 20, it's like,
And if you were on like
it's a
single
weird
wheel
logarithmic
chest
scale.
wheel,
There's like a logarithmic scale there, though.
there has
too.
to be like your head's distance from the ground.
Like you're doing 80 in your car, and you're just like, I'm bored. You know?
Yeah.
What-
And you're doing 400 in an airplane, and
song
you're
before.
like super bored.
Yeah.
That's why going 90 on a boat is intense. It's intense.
Going 90 in a car is pretty fucking cool too.
Yeah.
But with a car, you have to get up to like 120 to
Yeah,
feel
to
the
feel
90
it.
of a
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then if you're in a
that's about right.
motorcycle, it's like
Oh,
you gotta
well.
get up to like 170.
And that's I've
And
never
then you're
gone that
just-
fast on a motorcycle.
Your limbs will be scattered to the four winds.
What's the fastest you've ever gone in a car? Real quick aside. Fastest ever.
Probably 125 or something.
Where were you?
I was in a Hyundai driving from New Mexico up to Colorado. Rented Hyundai.
125?
Yeah, it was like pinned. I think 140 140 was I think the max
Yeah.
that the thing could go.
Yeah.
But you get these highways where it's just a totally straight line. You can see 7 miles to the horizon. And there's no obstructions. You know exactly what's going on. And the speed limit's like, 85,
Mhm.
I think.
Out there, it's 85 in some places.
because
Yeah.
it's obvious.
There's fucking
It's
nothing
like even
there.
if you're going 85 and you went off the road, you would just be driving on the flat dirt. There's
Yeah.
just nothing.
You probably
you
just
can't
slow
hit
down.
You can't hit anything.
Yeah, you can't hit anything. It'd be hard to hurt
So-
yourself.
So exactly. So that's when I was doing 125, and the you could tell the doors were like
Nice.
shaking
That's a good time.
because Hyundais they're fun cars, but they're kind of Fisher Price cars, you know.
There's a French-made car. It starts with a Q, I think. I rented one in Germany and went on the Autobahn. And
It's not a Fiat or a
no,
Peugeot.
it's a something like that.
Just
and,
a little.
It's just a diesel, 5-speed, saggy flap of crap. I mean, this thing, the walls were so thin. The suspension
the-
was like terrible.
What was like the form factor of it?
It was a
Was it
four-door.
like an Escort. Like a sedan?
Yeah, it was more like a Ford Escape, but smaller,
Okay.
or maybe it's like a 4-door, a bulky 4-door with a hatchback, basically, but smaller. It's like a Mazda 5,
Okay.
kind of like that.
Okay.
But it's like French and diesel, and it's a 5-speed, which I love, and it was cool because I had the steering
Same.
wheel on the correct side.
Did you have insane acceleration and power?
Well, in this car, you didn't. This car was like a soggy flap wagon that it was like a bathtub full of water driving around.
So
the
it's not
corner.
a story of how it was a badass car. It's
No.
a story of how it was a shitty car.
But we were on the Autobahn, and we were getting ready to return the car, and I again could see the horizon, and it was a straight line. And
Right.
there was no cars, and it was daylight, and I was like,
That's cool.
"Let's do it." And so I laid it down in the 5th gear, and I 140 miles an hour. That's what we got to. It was like 200 and something kilometers. It was like
You
200
might-
something kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
like way off the charts,
yeah,
right?
yeah, you might live
Yeah.
if you crash.
Probably not.
Probably not though.
But this thing, it was just
Even at 55, it's like you probably won't.
65 is pretty fatal. That's
But-
why I'm for
but
personal drone
It
delivery.
sounds. I mean, it feels so good to drive fast.
It super does. Feels
Yeah,
so good
it
to
sounds
skate
good, too.
fast too.
So
All
we
right,
got-
so skateboarding. We
we're in the 1980s.
okay.
I gave you a lowdown of what the board shape was. We got the kicktail now.
Can I see that? Do you have that?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Wide boards with short noses become popular for vert ramp skating.
Okay. Did you make this?
No.
Okay.
I'll cite the sources in the notes.
Okay, gotcha. I see it.
So that's what we got, and that's what I learned on.
Okay, something like that.
You know,
Uh-huh.
the double tail shit wasn't around yet. 1988. Skateboarding begins another dive popularity.
What?
It's not as bad as the previous one, but vert skating, which was
Drop-ins.
sort of on its ascendancy in the mid 80s. Not cool.
Is it
anymore.
because it's like Parisi squares? It's like just too dangerous.
Nice reference. It's dangerous, but it's also not that cool anymore.
Why? It still
I
is
don't know.
cool. It's incorrect.
I don't know. I mean, according to the zeitgeist,
I was alive then. I remember it being
I
cool.
remember too. But I wasn't into skating at that point. In 19
Mm-mm.
fucking
No, I was
80
biking. I was cycling.
88. I was
Pow,
a
pow,
couple
Power
years away.
Wheels.
I was a couple years away from getting into it.
So we're like 9 years apart, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, like
Like one generation.
Generation.
Yeah, like you're X
Gen X and
and I'm a
millennial.
millennial. Yeah. Okay.
It's good. I mean, that's good. No, look. You want to know what we have to offer?
We got a Gen Xer and a millennial, and we're working it out. Look at that.
So much more overlap than there is
Underlap.
exclusion.
Right.
There is a lot of exclusion.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The more
And we
the
learn
show-
from each other.
The more the show goes on, the more we actually discover things we don't agree on,
Yeah.
which
And
is very interesting.
And it's
Because
cool.
because it then becomes a challenge of bringing in topics that we do agree on.
Uh-huh. And the way we handle the topics we don't agree on, I think is pretty
Is that- what does he m- what do you
cool.
mean?
Like,
What does he mean by that?
how do we how we find our disagreements and navigate them into a cohesive experience?
Oh yeah. 1989.
Okay, here we are.
This is a crossover year, right? The movie Gleaming the Cube comes out, starring Christian Slater as a skateboarding teenager. The movie has cameos from real skaters, like Tony Hawk was in it, Tony Alva, a lot of the Bones Brigade, a lot of like skaters that the underground dudes knew were in this movie.
So that gave
So
it
it was,
some
it
legitimacy.
was almost like the mainstreamization of skateboarding, the legitimization. That was '89. So again, we're on the cusp of some cool shit. 1990. This is where we start to see street skateboarding. The edgy sort of modern day skateboarder that you think of.
Is this with the double bill?
Like he's kind of funny, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's got the double tail. He's just riding around the city all day doing fucking grinds and slides.
Okay.
And it's almost
all like-
it's almost coeval, like it co-evolves with punk
Skateboarding and punk?
in a lot of the ways.
In
yeah.
mid-'80s?
like music, late '80s, like music, edgy music becomes tied with skateboarding, edgy skateboarding.
Yeah. What bands are associated with skateboarding? Green Day?
Fire Hose, Green Day, probably like Bad Religion,
Mm-hmm.
No Effects,
Yeah.
Mike Watt.
The Has-Beens. I don't know if you've heard of them.
They used to be popular.
Yeah.
Like I heard of them when they were popular.
Right. Okay. All right.
So that's like 1990.
Okay,
And this
here we
is
are, here we are,
this
here
is
we are.
approaching. This is skulking up on when I started skateboarding.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Let me know if this is boring for you.
No, keep going.
1994. Well, by the way, 1990s, the average board width decreases 2 inches. So
That makes sense.
Boards get slender,
Mm-hmm.
and the wheels get smaller. And we start to see the double tail.
Okay.
There's a kick turn at each end, right? There's
Mhm.
a kick up at each end.
Yeah.
So you can flip the board 180 degrees and still do ollies off the tail. Because
Pretty cool.
each end is a tail.
Mm-hmm. So you're spinning it around and then doing another trick immediately.
Yeah. And there is no, what it means is there is no front or back to the tail.
Right.
I mean to the board.
It's a unidirectional skateboard.
The skateboard is the same either way. World Cup Skateboarding is founded in 1994.
World Cup skateboard.
1994.
Huh.
It is founded to oversee the biggest skateboarding competitions all over the world. Also regulates points from one event to another in order to give a sort of a general idea of professional skateboarding and its progress and how professional skaters do over a career, right?
Okay.
So it's almost like the baseball cardization of skateboarding, right? Stats. We start to look at stats.
Yeah.
Earned run average, RBIs,
How many kickflips per session?
how many wins, what contests, where, was it amateur, pro?
So they're like the bureaucracy
The bureaucracy starts to
kind
come into it.
comes in, huh?
That's when you know it's fucking legit.
Yeah.
Once the bureaucracy sneaks in and wants to regulate the fuck out of it. So 1995, the first X Games.
Oh. 95.
Right? ESPN X Games.
Snowboarding.
Gave a lot of it. That's sort of when it's still on that path.
X Games was a big thing. I remember that
Gave
really
skateboarding
was a
lot
whole
of
new
attention,
thing.
man. They
Yes,
got
it
a
was.
lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean X Games they had like winter and summer, right?
Yeah, and it didn't matter because you were just on a half pipe
Yeah,
doing
snowboarding.
huge moves, and then Danny Way doing like mega intergalactic ollie to dimensional portal.
Is the X
shit.
Games still going, like in popularity? As it was then? Is it bigger?
I think ESPN still runs skateboarding competitions.
Do they call it X Games?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I have no idea. But it was like the commercialization of skateboarding, the X Games. Massive advertising, massive, affiliates and all this shit, all this licensing,
Well, yes, I pulled it up here.
Is
X
that when you-
Games is still going on.
Okay.
Yeah, we've
Is that
got
when
this.
you were into? Is that when you got into skateboarding, like 1995?
No, it was later. It was like 2002.
Okay. So 1997, skateboarding becomes classified as a quote-unquote extreme sport.
Extreme sport.
Many skaters rebel against this classification.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things about skateboarding, man, is like, is very much is about the culture of the skaters.
Yeah, like how they are in between tricks, or
Yes, exactly. And the sort of almost like armed forces. Like, oh, we all sort of serve together. There's a certain camaraderie. Maybe I'm imagining it. I don't know, but it's just like anything else. Any other tribe that you become
like a football
member of.
team or
A band, a metal band,
metal band, company sometimes.
like a movement.
Mm.
Company.
Become like a skateboarding team. It's just like any other thing.
Yeah.
Extreme sports.
And it was like gangs for suburbia.
Yeah, X Games is
Gangs,
going on, man. It's a lot of
quote-unquote,
skateboarding.
It was like gangs light for middle class skateboarding.
It's like,
kids.
yeah, instead of trying to take over land, you're like trying to get better at this thing, and
Right.
only you are in the way of that.
Like
and-
people tread on your territory, but instead of you shoot a gun at them, you just like, I know this embankment a little better than you. We have these tricks that we do around these parts, and you're welcome here. Cool. What tricks do you have?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a totally inclusive thing. And for me personally, skateboarding culture led to music so naturally.
For you personally,
For me personally,
so that was
'Cause
like
it
a
was like-
ramp into music.
because it was like, oh, you skateboard, you should check out these bands because they're in skate videos. And then you listen to those bands, and it's like, oh, cool.
Before that, you weren't into
I don't
those
want
bands.
to play music like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, totally.
So skateboarding
For me, it was
has
like
a meta
skateboarding.
thing.
Skateboarding hit the Mach 1 barrier,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately punctured through into music.
Interesting. So without skateboarding, you might not be the bass player you are today.
Yes, that's probably 100% true.
Wow. Well then, we got to thank skateboarding
But
for something.
I mean, who knows? There would have been I would have been doing something else every day. I would have been good at something else. It wouldn't necessarily.
but it
be
might have been
bass.
fishing, and say
Could've been-
if
right,
it was
exactly,
fishing,
exactly.
you would get really good at listening to country music, probably, right? Or maybe if you got really
and doing
good at
owl calls and stuff.
motorcycling, say it was like you got into dirt biking or something, you'd probably also
Right, exactly.
get into country music or something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So thank the
believe-
Lord you got into punk rock.
I believe that. I believe that people inherently have abilities and things they're interested in.
And those abilities and those cultural references, they often have a musical orbit.
It's hard to say like, oh, I would have done this because I'm comparing reality against the imagination.
Right? And that's some of our quest, is to
Like-
compare.
Like, well, who knows?
Well, we're
There's no
trying to,
guarantee
right?
that anything would have ended up anyway.
Right?
I'm only
Like
on
how
the path
we
I'm
met
on.
and who I knew that introduced me
Right,
and how
exactly.
then who you introduced me
Infinite-
to my wife.
It's an
now
infinite
and
series.
blah, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
an infinite series.
Yeah, it's categorizing and cataloging it is interesting and impossible, but cool.
It's actually good. Yeah, that's a good topic. It'd be
The
hard to
categorization
research.
of our current relationships and how they occurred.
Like
yeah.
like the hierarchy, the genealogy of it.
Mm.
Some Joe Blow in the middle of fucking Wyoming in 1932, because of a decision he made, your family formed in California, my family formed in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
But then you could go backwards from that guy. Why
And
was he
that's-
there? What was he doing?
And then what does it all go down to? And like probably nothing. It probably goes down to the creation of the species, right? And then
Yeah, probably just infinite regression
right, turtles all the way down.
forever.
Okay, I like
There is
that.
there is no depth. There is no deepest thing, and there's no most altitudinous thing. There's no smallest thing. There is no largest thing. That's one of the. That's something that convinces me that we're in a simulation. By the way. So
Yes.
throughout the 2000s,
Good.
skateboarding grows in popularity.
Yeah, Tony
Mountain
Hawk
Dew.
is just
Mountain Dew, X Games, all this shit.
yeah.
2002, by the way. That's the first Tony Hawk skater. Or
Game?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
The game.
Yeah, the first one.
I
comes
played
up.
it
Yeah. Right?
on PlayStation. I think.
Yeah, totally. Everybody played that game.
Was it PlayStation? Oh, probably. Might
Well,
have
it
been
came out
Super
N64.
N64. Oh no, I probably
Huge
played a
hit.
later model. That's interesting.
Skateboarding infiltrates the nerd culture. You know, all the out of shape kids who couldn't skateboard can now skateboard and be better than the actual skateboarders.
Like this?
game. Yeah.
I was wiggling my thumbs there for the listeners.
That was huge, man. Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I think that's why his brand exploded and is still like completely
Right.
famous.
And he's so weird because he's like always been the best.
Yeah, it's just
and,
like
and it's
what
like
name do
he
you
truly
think of?
is the best.
He's really ragingly good. Like the 920 he did
Yeah,
in the
1080.
competition, or 1080. Is that what it was?
He did,
Oh my
he did a 900, then he did 1080, which is the next level.
Which no one had done, and no one
No
I
one
think
had
since
done.
has done.
Right.
And so it's like, well,
Yeah, exactly. He's
All
like
right.
he's like the Shakespeare or the Da Vinci of skateboarding.
what's a 1020? Or
1080.
1080. What is it? What does that mean?
Well, it's three 360s.
So what? How? So he went up on a half pipe.
Going up on a half going this way. And you go 1, 2, 3 times around, and come down fakey. Come down backwards onto the ramp. So
Oh
it goes
my
up.
God! What a brain
spins
melt.
3 full times around and comes back down
backwards.
onto the ramp.
And doesn't crash.
Right. It's insane. There's not that much more here, but
Okay, is that is
basically-
that your notes? Okay.
those are my notes.
Well, thank you for bringing those notes. By
Go
the way.
Skateboarding Day is, I guess, June 21st.
Oh, is that? That's. Wait, didn't that just
coming
hap-
up.
That's coming up. That's next. Yeah, that's right. Maybe we could go skateboarding. That'd be fun. Okay, I
And
still
s-
have my original skateboard. It still functions. The one I was using on all those trips.
And some people like
Still
some
have.
people want and like the idea that skateboarding is in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Wait, is
Skate-
it in the Olympics or
skate-
no?
I don't think it is.
And neither is
now,
golf. Like golf nor skateboarding.
But skateboarders are they're so protective of the culture. I mean, it's like it's almost like Hell's Angels or like Harley riders.
It's kind of a gang. Yeah.
It's like,
There's an inside.
look, we don't want this to be so mainstream,
Yeah.
but
Well, Olympics
we
is
want people to
global,
be
though.
interested in it, but
But
we don't want it to sell out.
if you cannot compete with the globe, then your culture is more than your physical ability, right? So if you would choose not to compete on a global level, then maybe you're worried a little that you wouldn't be able to actually hang. So I say, let's
Yeah.
make
I
it
mean,
an
I
Olympic
understand
sport.
that.
Let the
I understand
whole
that.
world try out. Because
I'm with you.
obviously,
I'm
I
with
think
you.
the U.S. will win. I obviously think that, but
But
maybe
it's
not.
It's that punk sort of ethos. Like, oh, if too many, and this is the hipster ethos has its origins in the punk ethos of like, well, if everybody likes it, then it has to be uncool, right?
Right.
And
Right.
but I'm with you. Let's totally embrace it.
Let's do it.
Fuck it.
I mean, I think we could make a pretty sweet team out of the available talent in the U.S. Wow.
So that's
skateboarding.
where we're at. And Lords of Dogtown movie came out in 2005.
Yeah.
The
That's
guy that you were mentioning.
Yeah, it's actually Evan's uncle.
Really?
Yeah, Evan's lineage to that
Huh.
Dogtown family. So he's skateboarded too,
Huh.
actually. And
Yeah.
we could get him on the show. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to have him on the show.
Should definitely get him on the show. We need some guests.
Coming up on
So
guests
boring.
time. There's just so much to cover in the world. It's like it's limitless.
It is.
Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we don't have guests.
We do pretty good about it, actually.
Yeah. Cool. Oh hey. Hey. What's going on?
FinalCorp is the leader in the field of human voice simulation and voice recognition. My name is Amzam Zamani, and I am the product of hundreds of thousands of man-hours of FinalCorp research and development. My voice is indistinguishable from that of a flesh and blood English-speaking human being. Also, grammatical never makes I don't mistakes.
Hot
For
tub.
example, ever.
Fun times.
100% accuracy and 100%
Just down here in a little
fluffy
cave, no big deal.
fluency.
Lots of fun.
FinalCorp has also pioneered shout recognition
Things
technology, yelling-based reminders,
definitely melted.
and noise-amplifying headphones. Take it from me,
Oh, yeah.
Zamzam Zamani. FinalCorp is the voice of the future.
Well, thank you, FinalCorp. I certainly appreciate that. And, you know, FinalCorp really holds this show up. I don't know where would we be without FinalCorp and all of its fine products and support for the show. You know, they support the show financially, and they just say, you know, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Just let us have a spot on the show. And so, of course, we need to take time out to let our listeners know about the fine products of FinalCorp. Finally, a corporation for all your needs. FinalCorp. It'll be fine. Well, cool. So that's pretty cool. I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to share in this genre. It's very needs meeting for me to be able to come into the studio and just speak honestly about topics and share my truth and work to discover more truth and to listen. So, thank you. And I hope that your goals are going well, and I hope your relationships are mutually nourishing. So thank you for your hard work and whatever it is you do, because we're all in one community together. So your hard work helps pool my hard work, and we make a thing together. So thank you for that, and we don't always appreciate that. So thanks again. All right, hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Cool. So what do we got?
That was skateboarding.
Okay, cool. Then we just skateboarded.
And I guess to summarize my story, skateboarded a bunch, led into music, going to concerts, hardcore concerts in the city. And then it led to playing music that was like those hardcore bands we listened to.
In the city.
And then went to college, still sort of skateboarded because there were some cool spots. But that's where the interest in skateboarding transitioned into, I guess, intellectual pursuits.
That's cool.
Why'd you stop skateboarding?
You know, it was never a hard stop. It was like,
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't skateboard today, though.
right, I don't.
I mean, there's a point, even though it's not maybe the day of, there's a point where you're a skateboarder and there's a point where you're not.
You know, if I were to skateboard now, I
Right.
would want bigger wheels, bigger trucks, a little bigger board, like less tricky, more cruisy,
Yeah.
but not full cruise. I still do want to ollie, so it can't be all like a sailboat. You know what I mean?
Like a dirt board.
That's too far. Rein
Too
it back a
much?
little bit. A little more tricky than dirt board.
Solid tires or inflatable?
And solid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was years ago. I mean, I probably really stopped when I moved to Boulder Creek in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and I lived up there for a while. We had property that we sort of like would skateboard on only right when we moved there. And I remember all the same friends were there. That was our spot. The Kevin and Evan and you'd think we'd be skating there because we had a big open space, but we had a trampoline, we had a big garage, we had engine.
You weren't
we
just
did lots
doing
of things.
skateboarding. Yeah.
We basically stopped there because we got into other things.
Right.
And then the road was hard, and the cars would break trying to get there, and we'd lose power, we'd lose heat, we'd lose
What were the other
internet.
things that you got into? Like
Romantic
cars.
relationships,
Yeah. Cars.
cars, trucks, psychedelia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. Cool.
It's very Zepp.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Yep, you're hearing just the back door. You're hearing just the fragments and just sort of ideas and working and
Like you've snuck over the fence and you're in the backyard and you're listening to your neighbor play some music.
that's right. That's what happened. Cool. So, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for hosting, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. Here at Gradient Studios, Crockett, California.
Thanks for listening.
Please, if you're really enjoying this podcast, I know we said at the beginning, consider what are the fun ways you'd like to contribute. Would it be to go to YouTube and throw up a comment or a like, or to go to Patreon and contribute a dollar amount? Either way would be totally appreciated. So if in any way you'd like to contribute to this podcast, please do so in the way that works best for you. Thank you.
You have stayed at one of our properties. Your telephone number was qualified by our booking system to receive an all-inclusive complimentary.
Hi, this is Taco Hell calling. Just wanted to let you know if you want to eat cheap, you can eat here, and you can get really spicy food. And if you eat your food first, you can have your sphincter burn like the center of the sun, because the food's comes out just the way it came in. So if you want like a steaming, burning, acidic sphincter, come check us out. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Aubrey. Thanks for doing what you do. You drive all the way out here, and
Hey,
you're cool.
I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you guys doing the show, and I just really like the content. And listening to you guys, I just kind of feel like part of the solutions are already in place, and that we're just on a good path. So I just appreciate it. And yeah, hey, what were you gonna say? Yeah, cool.
Hey, just still live. Is it live? Who's there? Where? No, there he is. He's live. Hello.